Alright, people, this is my 100 subscriber special. We're going to be talking the S2000 again. Yeah. But, sort of an announcement, I just want to gauge some interest from the audience here. I'll have a few interests, like games or other things, up on screen right now. And y'all comment if you think those will be interesting. I'll probably still do some anyways. But yeah, enjoy the show. I'm gonna assume that you watched part 1. By part 1, I mean this video right here. That's probably gonna be on screen. Where I test the S2000 speed cap because of a 23-year-old song made by Snoop Dogg. Yeah, okay, so anyways, we're back here in Gran Turismo 3, S2011 race car, and I got some good news. I just got a cheat code to work where I can drive through walls, so long as I have just enough speed. So we're gonna buy these, and we're gonna buy some oil, because I don't save my Gran Turismo 3 save file if you don't know. So, now we're gonna have 943 horsepower. Now, I don't feel like going into time trials, because I don't have a lot of tracks unlocked. So we're gonna go to Seattle Circuit. But first, I'm going to show you how we're going to construct this car's build. Okay, so commenter, I believe it's pronounced Styan Tiger, told me to take off all of the spring rate, make it as soft as possible, like this. Then, they told me to turn off all the dampeners, but I don't even know what that means.
You stupid!
Because it's not in this menu, in these menus. So, I saw this video by, I believe it's pronounced, Rob Shax. That they sent me, the commenter sent me, and it basically had a similar build to this. Turn off all the camber angle, leave the shock rebounds alone, ride height alone, but then we turn all the downforce away from this, and we put all the downforce back up on the back. I don't think this affects speed, but I don't feel like having these turned on right now. Then we're going to perform what is known as the gear trick, where we just slide this thing all to the right. Then we slide this all the way to the left. Then we slide this as far back as we want. Okay, then, I don't think it matters if we press OK here, we're just going to. We slide all these to the left. I'm gonna simplify it. For everything except the bottom one, essentially, the left, the further we push these to the left, the more speed it has, the higher top speed it has. The more to the right it is, the better acceleration is. Basically, what this commenter and setup is trying to accomplish is set up the wheelie glitch. But I'll show you in a second that this might be misguided. But first, I can share the cheat code in the description if possible. But I'm going to press R2 and up here. This should work. And now what we're going to do is just going to slam into this wall. Just like that. And now we can see Seattle Circuit from a different perspective. That's cool. So you can see here, the car's accelerating well, getting close to 200 miles per hour. 203, 204. And this is where the not so fun part begins, where we just have to casually sit here and wait for this to go. Okay, I'm going to start talking here now. So we're at 222 miles per hour. I know how to get 5 miles per hour more, but this is basically the same setup I used in my previous video for this car. And you can still see Seattle Circuit in the background. But we're not going to go any faster than this. Now you're wondering, why did we go faster on test course in the last video? Well, my friends, that's because we had this crazy thing called downhills. And on test course, there's a small little downhill at the end of every single turn. And with that downhill, we get a bit of extra acceleration and speed because our car is being pointed downwards. So if we ever want to hit 298 miles per hour with an S2000, we're going to have to utilize the downhill. So I'm going to try to modify this setup a bit more. So to do this, we're going to run the right height. We're going to set the front right height as low as we can. The bottom right height doesn't count. This is a newer glitch I heard of, simply called the right height glitch. And because we're putting all of our force as front as possible, this should work. And we're going to make a couple of little adjustments here. So we're going to increase this by 5. We're going to increase this a little bit as well. Those should... This new build should be better for slightly higher top speed. Even though it looks like an increased acceleration, sometimes you need a bit more acceleration to hit your top speed, realistically. So we're going to go into the qualify. And the reason I picked Special Stage 11, I was testing this out this morning, this track has a few downhills. Like this one, for example. Are we downhill? I don't know. Hold on. Oh. Okay, well that was weird. Okay, so my game crashed really hard. I'm gonna see if that's consistent, but to show you, I just remember what dampener means. It just means shock, rebound, and rebound. Man, this gets shock absorbers, but that doesn't seem to be available for those cars. But you know what, whatever, we're just gonna turn everything off. Now, to make sure, even if this does happen, that we don't have to deal with this anymore, we're gonna put a little save state. Now, something I want to warn you guys, when you use this cheat code, it doesn't work if you load a save on boot. You have to freshly boot or reset your game for this cheat to work. Alright? I'm gonna see if this is consistent. Because this downhill seems promising. You might be thinking, why not use a downhill from like... I'm stupid, I forgot to turn on my cheat. Now you might be wondering, why not use Laguna Seca? Laguna Seca has some pretty good downhills. And that's because Laguna Seca is covered by dirt. And if you don't know, dirt slows you down. There is Smoky Mountain, but as far as I know, you can't put dirt tires on the S2000. Any of them, I think. Okay, so let's go downhill. Is that... Well, this is awkward. Okay. Now we're downhill. We are definitely going downhill. And we're going in a curve. So the game still thinks we're technically turning. That might not be good for us. Because now we're not accelerating well. And if you can't tell, okay, so that's not gonna work. So basically the reason why I can't turn to face downhill, I'm gonna explain something. When you go out of bounds in Gran Turismo 2 and 3, what seems to happen is, it's not like they programmed a specific out of bounds for most of these. What seems to happen is that the out of bounds plane seems to just copy and paste your last, status. So here, I'm doing a turn. And because I'm doing a turn, I'm facing partially, turning, right? Because the downhill is making me slanted. So because the game thinks I'm, slanted, I'm turning, in a sense. And that's why Laguna Seca won't work, because the out of bounds will just copy the dirt. So, if I do it like this, now it should be facing more downhill. Because I didn't turn at all. So I'm not as slanted, right? I'm a little bit slanted. And now it's forcing me to turn a bit. So because it's, copying my general direction, even if I turn, it's still wheel spin. Well, that was weird. You know what? I'm gonna exit this course before something weird happens. I didn't know it was this, bad. So, what does that leave us with? Well, we gotta try to do, I'm just gonna call, a perfect downhill. There's no of these, though. Except maybe Test Course. So, Test Course doesn't have dirt. Even though it looks like it has dirt, it doesn't. But to make sure I do this correctly, I'm going to set up another save state because doing this properly is not easy. So basically what the idea is, we're going to cut, I'm going to have to show the mini-map, we're going to cut from this side, come on, and we're going to aim at the slope. Those big turns, they have slopes like these that I just bumped on. If we can bump off of one of these correctly, we will land downhill. If we land downhill, the game will give us more speed. So, I've done this once. I was not able to recreate it well. Destabilizing this car might not have been a great idea. Come on. Oh, this is awkward. Oh, the game does not like that, bro. The game does not like that. And we're still going slanted. This might be an issue with the car's, like, stability. If you want to know about that, that'll be known in the future about that name. So, I could try to stabilize the car more. Maybe like, I don't know, like this. Because this won't affect your top speed. But, at the end of the day, this is, like, very inconsistent trick to try to do. To try to land perfectly downhill. Because I got it once. I got it to a point where I would land downhill. But when I land downhill, I would get more speed, of course. But, since I can only do it once, I've only done it once, I mean, I don't know the exact way methodology to do this. So I'm going to try to go more gentle. I'm going to try to aim towards the top right part of the oval. You'll see what I mean. I'll put like a little diagram. So, that's my warning about this cheat. It can be very unstable, so be careful with this. We're going to aim like this. And just full send it. Let's just go. It's hard to stabilize the car. I think the game thinks I'm slanted. Oh. We got it again. Alright guys, this is me from the future recording this outro. I don't think that was the cheat code crashing my game earlier. It was probably just RPCX2. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. I don't even think it would have gotten to 298 anyways. But if anyone wants to try it, I'll leave some stuff in the description and answer some comments to see if you guys maybe can, or if I do more testing eventually in part 3. Anyways, yeah, that was the 100 subscriber special. Check the intro again to look at some stuff. Comment below, please comment below if you want to see more stuff of different variety, alright? Cool, see y'all.